You want to check emission-related parameters using OBD-II or OBDonUDS with CANoe? Let's see how CANoe can help you. Hello, my name is Michael Webler and I'm responsible for the diagnostics features in CANoe and CANalyzer. When the CARB, the California Area Resources Board, released their OBD regulations back in the 1980s, there was no UDS protocol and the CAN bus was just invented. OBD-II was standardized with the SAE J1979 standard, both for K-line and CAN bus. Much later, OBDonUDS was specified in SAE J1979-2. In the USA, it was introduced in 2023 and it is mandatory for vehicles from 2027. As the name implies, it is fully based on the UDS protocol. In CANoe, OBD-II for CAN is supported since CANoe 7.1. With CANoe 19, we introduced the diagnostic feature OBD, which supports both OBD-II and OBDonUDS. It replaces the old OBD-II window. As all other diagnostic features, it can be used within the diagnostic window. But for OBD, you don't need a diagnostic description. Let's have a look at the configuration. Just select the CAN bus to which you want to connect the OBD tester. Then select the OBD standard you want to use. Once you have done this, there should be 3 configurable items for the diagnostic window. The diagnostic feature OBD as well as an OBD diagnostic console and fault memory. Let's configure them all for display in the diagnostic window by drag and drop. This will bring up the diagnostic window with 3 features tabbed on top of each other. Let's move the ECU control to the side and hide it as we don't need it for now. In contrary to OBD-II, the OBDonUDS standard also specifies diagnostics over IP as a possible protocol type, additionally to the CAN transport protocol. However, up to now this is only relevant for zero-emission vehicles. These vehicles use a subset of OBDonUDS, sometimes also referred to as ZEVonUDS. In CANoe 19 we support OBDonUDS only for CAN. However, by the time you're watching this video, support for Ethernet with DoIP might already be available. Check out the release notes of CANoe to be sure. Now let's have a look at the OBD diagnostic feature. After starting the measurement and performing a network scan, you can see in the OBD Cockpit the most important information of the connected vehicle. Additionally, you can see the OBD ECUs which were detected. Furthermore, there are 5 sections: system status, live data, vehicle info, performance and onboard test results tabbed over each other. As always, you can dock them however you like and expand the displayed information. If you want to update the data in those tabs, just click on the button Update OBD Data. Alternatively, you can update the data cyclically with this button and enter the corresponding update cycle time. Note that if you choose the cycle time too small for the amount of data to be read, the cycle time cannot be met. The tab System Status shows the status of all monitors. In the column S, you can see whether a monitor is supported by the vehicle, and in the status column, whether the corresponding measurement has been completed. Under Live Data, all parameter IDs or PIDs are listed with their corresponding current values. These values are shown if the vehicle indicated them as supported during the network scan. In OBD-II, the corresponding requests were known as Mode 1 requests. You can expand and collapse the displayed data or use the column filters, like so. The tab Vehicle Info shows all supported info types with their corresponding values. In OBD-II, this was known as Mode 9 data. The Performance tab shows all monitor events with the corresponding states and conditions. They are grouped by ECUs, including their in-use monitoring performance ratio. Finally, under Onboard Test Results, you find the former Mode 6 data, the OBD monitor IDs and the corresponding test results for each test ID. If you do not know all the IDs by heart, you can cheat by displaying the corresponding graphic. After stopping cyclic updates, you can generate a complete OBD report and save it to an XML file with just one click. In the options, you can choose whether you directly want to update the data after a network scan. Additionally, you can show the IDs which the vehicle indicated as not supported during the network scan. This can be helpful if you want to check whether the ECU is responding correctly to the corresponding requests. You just need to enable all IDs to be read in this column and update the OBD data. As you can see, also unsupported data is now requested from the vehicle, which fails as expected here. That's all about OBD and the end of this video series. If you liked it, you might also like my other videos on DoIP. Just click on the link in the description. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, give us a like, subscribe to the Vector Tech Tutorial channel, and have a look at our other diagnostics videos. See you there.